It goes without saying, but what I'm about to discuss dives deep into One Piece spoilers, so if you haven't caught up with the manga, I suggest you leave right now. You've been warned. Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome to what I would like to describe and call why we are not ready for what happens after Wano. So, many of us will agree that Wano, the entire Wano arc thus far, has been one of the best arcs for One Piece. Many characters got their moments to shine, the return of Marco, the reveal that Luffy's devil fruit is not called the Gum Gum fruit, but is actually known as a, Hito Hito no Mi, human fruit model Nika, which is patterned off of the sun god of One Piece lore, and the reveal of Gear 5, the defeat of Big Mom and Kaido. And then finally, in the recent chapter that we got on Sunday, this past Sunday, chapter 1051, we finally see Momonosuke revealed in his full human form, because he's been a pink giant dragon this whole time, revealed in his human form, looking just like his father, as he proclaims that the raid on Onigashima has been a success. Now, my condolences to every single theorist out there that thought that this raid was going to be a failure. Aged poorly, didn't it? So, with all that being said, all the things that have been revealed in this entire Wano arc, none of us are ready for what is going to happen when we leave Wano. The ramifications and consequences of everything that's transpired on Wano is going to be felt throughout the world. Imagine the world finding out that one of the worst generations has beaten not only one, but two Yonko in the same day. And one of which has had a motto and saying that everyone knows that whether it's on air, land, or sea, always bet on Kaido. You can no longer apply that anymore because Kaido has been beaten. Both Big Mom and Kaido have been beaten, fell into a giant pit of magma deep underground underneath Wano, and then got caught up in a ginormous, almost nuclear volcanic eruption that the entire country of Wano feels, so their status is left ambiguous right now. Then you have Orochi, whose last remaining head was cut off by Denjiro, so all major threats to the entire country of Wano have been eliminated and removed. Yamato's presence is enough to keep the Beast Pirates from retaliating. All the Akazaya 9, except for Ashura Doji, are there present in the Flower Capital. Momonosuke is proclaiming that no more will anything bad happen to any of you here on Wano. You are free to do business as you like. No more will water be poisoned from factories. We are going to turn this wasteland into a paradise on Earth. Now, mind you, Momonosuke still is not going to open the borders of Wano quite yet. And that speaks to his level of maturity because there are still dangers in the outside world that want to get into Wano. Now, thanks to Orochi and Kaido being beaten, no more weapons are going to be made in the factories on Wano now, which means that whatever deal that Orochi had with the world government that he was supplying weapons to them before, along with Kairoseki, because Kairoseki, see Prism Stone, comes from Wano, that's no longer going to be making its way to the world government anymore. And the world government had already had plans to try and attempt to take over Wano on the very small chance that Kaido was beaten. But Zunisha is there, so any attempts for them to get into Wano at this moment is null and void. But not only that, we still have this last remaining CP0 agent that flees away from Onigashima. And that's where I get to the main topic of this video. The world is not ready to learn what has happened in Wano, because it's still reeling from the events of the Reverie. It's still reeling from the events that involved King Cobra and Vivi, whatever happened with the revolutionaries versus Fujitora and Ryukyu, revolutionaries formally proclaiming war and waging war against the Celestial Dragons in the Holy Land of Marijois. Not only that, but the world is still dealing with the news that the 7 warlords have been abolished. So you got Mihawk's status, you have Hancock status, you have Buggy status, Edward Weevil status, all the status of the warlords that are still up in the air right now. Then you have Blackbeard going after Sabo and making his way to Marijois, apparently, due to some newspaper insinuating that something grievous has happened to Sabo during the fight on Marijois. So Blackbeard is making his move out there in the world. All of this news that the world government has to deal with, the citizens have to deal with, other pirates have to deal with, and now the world is gonna eventually learn of the events that happened in Wano. Luffy, one of the worst generations, someone that many individuals out there don't see as a significant threat or just seen as an annoyance. They're going to learn that Luffy has beaten one of the most powerful pirates we have seen in the entire series. Not only Luffy beating Kaido, but also Kid and Law beating Big Mom. Now, mind you, the Charlotte children, who are the Charlotte family that travel with Big Mom to Wano, we have yet to see them appear in Wano quite yet. Harking back to when Marco knocked them off the second time, saying that by the time you get back up here, by the time you get up to Wano, the times will have already changed. And the times have, in fact, changed because we have yet to see the Charlotte family return, and Momonosuke is already ready to assume the throne as the new shogunate of Wano. The raid is over. No more fighting. So there's their accounts of events that's gonna be interesting to see. But the world is not ready for what happened. The world is not ready to hear the news of what happened in Wano. The world government is especially not ready because of the reveal of Luffy's devil fruit, the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika, being awakened. 800 years, 8 centuries, the world government has tried to get their hands on this devil fruit, but it's always evaded them. Because apparently Zoan devil fruits have a will of their own. So for 8 centuries, this fruit has evaded the world government, and it was almost this close to getting into their hands, except Shanks stole it, and then it got into the hands of Luffy, which then jump-started the series from there. The world government is not ready to learn that Luffy not only has the very devil fruit that they've tried to get their hands on for 800 years, but also that he's also beaten Kaido. Because even they themselves were doubting that Luffy would stand a chance of beating Kaido. Even the CP0 agents that were there in Onigashima during the whole party thought very little of Luffy's chances of him beating Kaido. But imagine their surprise when they find out not only 1, but 2 Yonko have been defeated on the same day. Luffy, not only awakening the devil fruit that they've been searching for and trying to get their hands on for 800 years, but also finding out that he's beaten Kaido, and now Wano will no longer be supplying them with anything that Orochi was supplying them for when he was ruling. Because if you remember back in the earlier parts of Wano, Orochi was making deals with the world government to give them weapons in exchange for different things. Now, the world government is no longer going to have access to Wano as freely as they did before under Orochi's rule. But the world itself is not ready to hear about how the worst generation just took up arms and then took down not only 1, but 2 Yonko in the same day, 2 of which people have feared because of their strength. Big Mom, because she's an inhuman tank, and she's monstrously strong, and Kaido, because he's basically the pinnacle of physical strength that we've seen in the series thus far. The world is not ready, and we are not ready. Now, mind you, the last chapter does not go on break, so we're getting another chapter this upcoming Sunday. But when the world finds out, and when we're done with Wano, the ramifications of what has happened at Wano, and what it means for the future of One Piece, we are not ready. Now, I'm more than willing to wait patiently to see where the story goes from here, but we are not ready to see how the world will change once we are done with Wano and we move into the next arc. I'm happy to see that we're going to be done with Wano someday soon, but none of us are ready for where the story is going to take us next. Because remember, this whole Wano arc was jump-started by Luffy joining up with Law and them making an alliance to take down Doflamingo, which would then help them take down Kaido. Law has now, they've fulfilled that obligation now. Both Doflamingo and Kaido have been defeated now, which means that Law has no obligation to stay with the Straw Hats anymore. So now, it's anyone's guess what anyone does once this arc is completely concluded and we move into the next one. We are not prepared for what Oda's about to show us in this story. But all I can really say is, I'm excited for how unprepared we are. Because I honestly feel, as great as Wano was, how the world, we've just been in Wano for the last 2 years, mind you. I am excited to see what these 2 years of being in Wano does for the rest of the One Piece series. I'm excited, and I hope you guys are too. But apologies if I took this discussion a lot longer than I was expecting, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out about how we are really not prepared for One Piece's future once we are done with the Wano country and move into the next location. But you guys let me know what you thought of this entire, I can't say the entire Wano arc as a whole because we're not done with it, but given what we've learned recently, what do you guys think of Wano? And where do you think we're going from here? A lot of people say Elbaf, but it really is anyone's guess. I wouldn't be surprised if we do go to Elbaf in the next arc. But really, it is just a roll of the die right now. But I'm excited to see the world's reaction to this big news, this really big news that Morgans is going to react to. That's all I got. I just wanted to say that. So you guys let me know what you thought of the Wano arc thus far. And, you know, it's just amazing just how much Oda has been doing with the One Piece story since the Wano arc has started. He did say that this entire Wano arc, sorry, I felt like I was about to burp there for a moment. He did say that this entire Wano arc was going to make Marineford look like child's play in comparison, and he was not lying. This Wano arc has been absolutely massive. And we're not even officially done with it yet. We still got more chapters to go. But you guys let me know what you think about where the world is going to be once this Wano arc is over. You guys let me know what you thought of the Wano arc thus far. And what did you like? What didn't you like thus far? Don't worry, I'll do a retrospective over the entire Wano arc once the arc is completely over. Because I want to do more videos like this when I discuss more things about One Piece and potentially My Hero Academia as well. But you guys let me know what you thought thus far about basically everything. All I can really say at the end of the day is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, and maybe even consider becoming a member because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.